Hello, I'm Lewis Kenny. I'm a poet based in Dublin. I've been invited here by Meath County Council and Meath Library to say some poems. So primarily my poetry has its root bases in community and family, and also sport. I was the former poet in residence of Bohemian Football Club, and so a selection of poems that I've made today is on my time as the poet in residence of Bohemian Football Club. And so the first poem is called Kizen, which I wrote for my friend Paul, who sadly passed away 2 years ago. When I was younger, playing football on the streets, using jumpers as goal posts with ball to neighbour wall smacking, tracking back and imagining ourselves to be Zidane, Ronaldinho or Robbie Keane. Our favourite stars and brandishing the freshest Beckham or Youngberg hairstyle just for show. Now all of this I didn't want to know about, because I wanted to be Glenn Crowe. And from the second I saw the Bohemian Ronaldo from the third last row in Block H of the Jody, fifth seat in from the right, it sparked a feeling so melodic to me very being that I knew where I belonged, where I always wanted to be. And sure, it's not always easy. We've had our ups and downs. No club hasn't, to be fair. And sure, we're all in the gutter. But some of us are looking to the Star, the Crescent and the Shamrock. The marlets take migratory flight as the ship sails safely into the harbour, all holding true to the old candy-striped motto, Vita Veritas Victoria. And sure, we look to the past. You have to look back sometimes, not just to see where you've come from, but to know where you're going. For the only thing buried is a seed. We plant trees today so that tomorrow we might sit in the shade. And just like the very blades of grass we play upon, we continue to grow, like a Kizen approach, always improving. And so that was Kizen. The next poem I have, I suppose, sticking to the theme of friends, community, family. This is a poem called In the Family that I actually wrote about my grandfather, who I suppose started taking me to football matches, to Bows matches. And yeah, he's been dead a long time now, and I miss him very dearly. So this is a poem called In the Family. Friday night, follow the floodlights. Fading memories of me granda, Big Christy, gripping my hand with a firm tenderness, loose like the red and black scarf that hung frivolously with a bold freedom around his neck. And as we advance through overshadowing trees along the North Circular, I can feel it. Delirium rising, my lost tribe calling me home once more, as it has done for the last 20 years. It's taken care of me, just like you had always done. It had been a constant when you could no longer be. You always wanted a Pierce or a Plunkett. Bet you didn't think I'd be their poet. And every now and then the old guard will stop me. Noel Farrell still strong in his cornerstone of granite. Ah, you're Christie's grandson. A titan of a man your grandfather was. I wish I could know him now, to have one more game with him. But you have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. And that was Follow the Floodlights, written for my grandfather Christy. The next poem I do was actually featured on RTE. It is a poem, I suppose, that I've written about League of Ireland football, but yeah, about Irish football in particular. And this would have been one of the first poems I'd written as the poet laureate of Bohemian Football Club. And it starts off with a quote. So what is a club in any case? It's not the buildings or the directors or the people who are paid to represent it. It's not the television contracts, get out clauses, marketing departments, or executive boxes. It's the noise, the passion, the feeling of belonging, the pride in your city. It's a small boy clambering up stadium steps for the very first time, gripping his father's hand, gawping at that hallowed stretch of turf beneath him, and without being able to do a thing about it, falling in love. Sir Bobby Robson. A true man of the match, a man that few could ever match for love of the club and the beautiful game, but see, it's all one and the same. Because he hit the nail on the head of it when he said of it, that a club is not watching the corporate game, fueled by an incorporated fictitious following of a name that's directed in blind, misguided faith to a team that you probably never even seen live in the flesh before or will ever see again. And what's more, a club is not the chants, the anthems of the times, the boos, the salutes, the cheers that you once heard so proudly belted out from foreign hordes of far off distant peers. A club is not the famous roar of a home ground held so dear from barstool luxury or the comforts of home in a surround sound sitting room atmosphere. It's not the ragtag Green Street blow-ins looking for the ritualistic Friday fight night in the name of tribalism. It's not only singing when you're winning or bowing out in defeat, or even forsaking the clustering crowd when you begin to feel the heat. A club is not a matter of life and death. I can assure you it is much more important than that. A club is the local game, the focal game, the kind of game that you'll only truly get by immersing yourself fully in the unity that is the family of your football community. The club is your religion, the ground your church, the captain your God, and Friday night your day of worship. A club is a band of brothers, sisters and fans galore, fanning the flames of passion, pride in your town and the love of the club to which you belong. A club is the where were you when kind of moments that always seem to come round at the exact moment you need it to give you the strength to carry on. I can recall clearly the tremors of the tethered net the night Evan Macmillan set fire to a leather halo, and the laws of physics with a volley so divine it seemed as though it was destined for the heavens, when he returned fire with the weighted dreams of a club driving its presence. That moment of raw divinity shook the Jody to its core with a brim full of pride and audacity. Do you remember that? That feeling of pure ecstasy, freed from all desires, free to shape our own destiny. I can reminisce for hours of the bliss the night Glen Crow donned the tricolour like the true Celtic warrior he is, forever engraving the mark of the league and the bona fide harp, with the aspirations of the guttered stargazers on an emblem that had nearly forgotten where it came from. I can remember clearly the moment he took the field battle ready, knowing that if he could score from there, sure he could score from anywhere. Do you remember that night? It was great, wasn't it? All the sweeter to watch knowing he was one of our own. Our product. Our people. Because we're all one and the same. Just playing different parts in this universally spoken game. And that's what a club is. A club is a sea of green, white, claret blue, black and red, ready for lights, camera and an action-packed 90 minutes of varying frenzied emotion. A club is losing your head when all others keep theirs around you. A club is yours and yours only, which no commercially driven goal can take from you. A club is a conflated cocktail of vibrating light, colour and sound. A club does not belong to Sky or corporates on high, but with the people on the ground. A club is a weekly art exhibition at your home and culture. A club is kept alive by the beat of the heart and the word of the mouth. A club always has room for one more in the family. A club is that rising feeling of delirium as you approach your fortress of magnitude. A club is a second home, but a family that comes first. A club is not about the name on the back, but the badge on the front. A club is falling helplessly hard forced in love by chance and staying by choice. So give your club your loyalty. Give them your love this season. Bring your sons, your daughters, your sisters, your brothers, your fathers and your mothers, nieces, nephews, the best mates and the lesser few, your other half of the whole crew, and show them all the bliss and discover what a club is to you and what it means to be a member of the pack. And I swear to God to you all, if you give your love to your local football club, you'll feel it right back. Thanks very much for tuning in, and a good meal got to Mead Library and Mead County Council for putting this great event on for Poetry Day. I've been Lewis Kenny, and thanks very much for listening.